The national coat of arms of Denmark consists of 3 pale blue lions passant wearing crowns, accompanied by 9 red hearts, all in a golden shield. It is historically the coat of arms of the House of Estridsen, the dynasty which provided the kings of Denmark between 1047 and 1412. The current design was introduced in 1819 under Frederick VI. Previously, there had been no distinction between the national and the royal coat of arms. Since 1819, there has been a more complex royal coat of arms of Denmark separate from the national coat of arms. History. The oldest known depiction of the insignia dates from a seal used by King Canute VI c. 1194. The oldest documentation for the colors dates from c. 1270. Historically, the lions faced the viewer and the number of hearts was not regulated and could be much higher. The heart shapes originally represented water lily pads. A royal decree of 1972 still specifies these figures as sublade. The current design was adopted in 1819 during the reign of King Frederick VI, who fixed the number of hearts to 9 and decreed that the heraldic beasts were lions, consequently facing forward. A rare version exists from the reign of King Eric of Pomerania in which the 3 lions jointly hold the Danish banner, in a similar fashion as in the coat of arms of the former South Jutland County. Until c. 1960, Denmark used both a small and a large coat of arms, similar to the system still used in Sweden. The latter symbol held wide use within the government administration, e.g., by the Foreign Ministry. Since this time, the latter symbol has been classified as the coat of arms of the royal family, leaving Denmark with only one national coat of arms, used for all official purposes. The crown on the shield is a heraldic construction based on the crown of King Christian V, not to be confused with the crown of King Christian IV. The main difference from the real crown is that the latter is covered with table-cut diamonds rather than pearls. Both crowns and other royal insignia are located in Rosenborg Castle in Copenhagen. The blazon in heraldic terms is, or 3 lions passant in pale azure crowned and armed are langed gules, 9 hearts gules. This insignia is almost identical to the coats of arms of Estonia and Tallinn, which can both be traced directly back to King Valdemar II and the Danish rule in northern Estonia 1219 to 1346. The main differences are as follows. In the Danish coat of arms, the lions are crowned, face forward, and accompanied by 9 hearts. In the Estonian coat of arms, the leopards face the viewer. They are not crowned, and no hearts are present. The coat of arms of Tallinn resembles the Estonian arms, but the leopards in the former arms are crowned with golden crowns similar to the ones in the Danish arms. It shows great similarities with the contemporary insignia of England's Richard the Lionheart and the current arms of the German state of Baden-Württemberg. The Danish coat of arms has also been the inspiration for the coat of arms of the former Duchy of Schleswig, a former Danish province. The hearts of the coat of arms also appear in the coat of arms of the German district of Lüneburg. Royal coat of arms. The royal coat of arms is more complex. The current version was established by Royal Decree 5 July 1972. The shield is quartered by a silver cross fimbriated in red, derived from the Danish flag, the Dannebrog. The first and fourth quarters represent Denmark by 3 crowned lions passant accompanied by 9 hearts. The second quarter contains 2 lions passant representing Schleswig, a former Danish province now divided between Denmark and Germany. The third quarter contains a total of 3 symbols. The three crowns are officially interpreted as a symbol of the former Kalmar Union. The silver ram on blue represents the Faroe Islands, and the similarly colored polar bear represents Greenland. The center escutcheon, two red bars on a golden shield, represents the House of Oldenburg, the former royal dynasty that ruled Denmark and Norway since the middle of the 15th century. When the senior branch of this dynasty became extinct in 1863, the crown passed to Prince Christian of the cadet branch Glucksburg, whose descendants have reigned in Denmark ever since. The House of Glucksburg continues the use of the arms of the old Oldenburg dynasty, and the symbol is still officially referred to by its old association. Two wood roses act as supporters, and this element can be traced back to the early reign of the Oldenburg dynasty. Similar supporters were used in the former arms of Prussia. The shield features the insignias of the Order of the Dannebrog and the Order of the Elephant around it. The shield and supporters are framed by a royal ermine robe, surmounted by a royal crown. A blazon in heraldic terms is a shield quartered by cross-argent fimbriated gules, first and fourth quarter, or three lions passant in pale azure crowned and armed langed gules, 9 hearts gules, second quarter, or two lions passant in pale azure armed langed gules, third quarter azure party profess in base per pale in chief 3 crowns, or index to base a ram passant argent armed and ungilded, or in sinister base a polar bear rampant argent. Overall an escutcheon or 2 bars gules, the whole surrounded by the collars of the Order of the Dannebrog and the Order of the Elephant. Supporters 2 wood roses armed with clubs proper standing on a pedestal, all surrounded by a mantle gules doubled ermine crowned with a royal crown and tied up with tasselled strings, or the royal coat of arms has since c. 1960 been reserved exclusively for use by the monarch, the royal family, the royal guards and the royal court according to royal decree. A select number of purveyors to the Danish royal family are also allowed to use the royal insignia. Historical versions. In late medieval heraldry, coats of arms that used to be associated with noble families became attached to the territories that had been ruled by these families, and coats of arms used by individual rulers were composed of the coats of arms of the territories they ruled. In the case of Denmark, the coat of arms of the House of Estridsen with the extinction of the dynasty became the coat of arms of Denmark. Olaf II of Denmark succeeded his maternal grandfather Valdemar IV in 1376. He was the first king to rule Norway and Denmark in personal union. Olaf on his seal still displayed the Estridsen and Sverre coats of arms in 2 separate shields. The custom of dividing the field arises with Eric of Pomerania at the end of the 14th century. The modern royal coat of arms of Denmark is a continuation of this tradition of the Danish monarch using his or her personal coat of arms after the end of the personal union of Denmark and Norway. The current version of the arms, established by royal decree 5 July 1972, is greatly simplified from the previous version, which contained 7 additional subcoats representing 5 territories formerly ruled by the Danish kings and 2 medieval titles: Holstein, Stormarn, Dithmarschen, Lauenburg, Delmenhorst, and King of the Wends and Goths. A crowned silver stockfish on red was formerly included to represent Iceland, but due to Icelandic opposition, this symbol was replaced in 1903 by a silver falcon on blue. The falcon was in turn removed from the royal arms in 1948 following the death of King Christian X in 1947 and reflecting the 1944 breakup of the Dano-Icelandic Union. The following list is based on the research by Danish heraldist Erling Svane. Danish names are shown in brackets. Norway, 1398 c. 1819, gules, a lion rampant crowned and bearing an axe of bladed argent. The union with Norway was dissolved in 1814 as a result of the Napoleonic Wars. Sweden, 1398 azure, 3 bars argent surmounted by a lion rampant or the Folkung lion, the arms of Sweden until 1364. Only used during the reign of Eric of Pomerania. Pomerania, 1398 argent, a griffin segrent gules. Only used during the reign of Eric of Pomerania. Bavaria, 1440 lozenge argent and azure. Only used during the reign of Christopher of Bavaria. Palatinate, 1440 sable, a lion rampant crowned or only used during the reign of Christopher of Bavaria. King of the Wends, 1440 to 1972, gules, a lindorm crowned or early examples of this insignia also exist with a blue shield. Canute VI proclaimed himself Rex Sclavorum. For the reign of Valdemar IV, this title was known as King of the Wends. This symbol was later also interpreted as the coat of arms of Funen and appeared in the official insignia of the now-defunct Army Regiment Finsk Leave Regiment. It should not be confused with the similar insignia of Bornholm, also formerly included in the Danish arms. King of the Goths, 1449 to 1972, or 9 hearts 4, 3 and 2 gules, in chief the lion passant azure, derived from the arms of Denmark and originally the arms of the Dukes of Halland. The lion is almost never crowned. This symbol was later also interpreted as the coat of arms of Jutland. It appears on the stern of the 19th-century frigate Jylland and in the official insignia of the Army Regiment Jydske Dragon Regiment. Holstein, 1440 to 1972, gules, a nettle leaf between 3 passion nails in pale argent, derived from the coat of arms of the Counts of Schauenberg, a silver shield with a red indented bordure. Stormarn, 1496 to 1972, gules, a swan argent gorged of a crown or Delmenhorst, 1531 to 1972, azure, a cross pate or Dithmarschen, 1563, gules, a knight armed capabire mounted on a horse argent and bearing a shield azure charged with a cross pate or Frederick II conquered Dithmarschen in 1559. Iceland, 16th century 1903, gules, a stockfish argent ensigned by a crown or the symbol had been associated with Iceland from the early 16th century. First included in the arms of Frederick II. From 1903 to 1948 different arms were used, viz. azure, a falcon argent. Iceland dissolved the union with Denmark in 1944, and following the death of King Christian X in 1947, the new King Frederick IX decided to remove the falcon from his arms. This change took place by royal decree on 6 July 1948. Gotland, gules, a holy lamb argent. First included by King Frederick II. Last used during the reign of King Frederick VI. Saaremaa, from 1603, last used by King Frederick VI. Azure, an eagle displayed sable. Several historians have explained this violation of the heraldic rule of tincture as the black color being the result of an oxidation of white paint containing lead. Fehmarn, from 1666, last used by King Frederick VI. Azure, a crown or Bornholm, from c. 1665, last used by King Frederick VI. Gules, a dragon or Lauenburg, 1819 to 1972. Gules, a horse's head couped argent, derived from the German Sachsenross arms, which shows a silver horse on red. Other members of the royal family gallery. Elements presently used in the arms. Elements formerly used in the arms. Related symbols: the coat of arms of Estonia and its capital, Tallinn. The coat of arms of Schleswig. The coats of arms of the towns of Ribe, Vard, Halmstad and Ystad. The coat of arms of the former South Jutland County. The coat of arms of the former North Jutland County. The coat of arms of the German district of Lüneburg. The coat of arms of Schleswig-Holstein. The coats of arms of the German town of Dannenberg. The personal arms of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, contain the arms of Denmark in the first quarter of the shield, and the sinister supporter is the savage from the Danish arms. He uses them on account of his descent from the Greek Schleswig-Holstein-Sonderburg-Luxembourg branch of the Danish House of Oldenburg. The Danish Lion and Hearts is featured in the Order of Saints George and Constantine and the Order of Saints Olga and Sophia, awarded by the Greek royal family.